This episode of Doug's Open Mic is brought to you in part by Mystic River Acupuncture, ancient medicine for a modern world. Come down and try their safe and effective methods to improve your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Use them for prevention or from quicker healing from injury and illness. Their clinic offers a wide range of services from acupuncture, Chinese herbs, therapeutic massage, cupping, magnet therapy, and so much more. Doug, you have a long history with Kathleen Poole, the owner. Can you tell us a little bit about why she's uniquely qualified to help your listeners?
So I've known Kathleen for many years. She's a fellow musician, and as such, she's uniquely qualified. She knows the musician ailments. We do a lot of repetitive motions, and she's got some solutions for that. I've even seen her at various gigs that I've been at, taking musicians into a back room and fix them up right then. Kind of repairs on site.
That's awesome. And not only that, of course, she can help. She has 30 years experience in the business. And if you're wondering, the clinic also has senior days and community acupuncture clinics. So really, whatever you're looking for, they can help. And whatever your situation is, they can help. The clinic is conveniently located in the city of Groton near I-95, Route 1 and Thames Street. For more information, call 860-448-6766 or visit them at mysticriveracupuncture.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Perks and Corks, located at 62 High Street. Perks and Corks is the heart of downtown Westerly, with their world-famous martinis and 6 nights of live music every week. You can also check out Perks every day starting at 11 a.m. for a great selection of coffees, breakfast sandwiches, and eclectic grilled cheeses.
DUG here. Thought I'd throw a couple comments in. I'm a longtime fan of Perks. Their open mic is fantastic. Every Monday, 9 o'clock. Come on down. They have a full sound system there. Gene Parise will set you right up. And as I've mentioned on other shows, it's a great place to start moving from the couch to the professional stage for aspiring musicians. You might even see me play there on occasion. Number 2, their martinis are very well received. I'm a beer guy myself, but they look very tasty, almost dangerously tasty, if you know what I mean. And number 3, they have music 6 days a week. The only day they do not have it is on Tuesday, and they have some of the best talent around, very acoustical, very singer-songwriter. I can guarantee you'll like it.
All right. For more information on upcoming musicians, follow them on Facebook or go to perksandcorks.com.
Welcome to Doug's Open Mic, a podcast spotlighting local musicians, bands, and songwriters.
Hi, everybody. DUG here on Doug's Open Mic for yet another episode. Today we have one of my good friends, Clayton Allen, sitting in. We'll be doing some live music and some musical talk. As always, I got my producer here, Ben Barber.
Thank
Hello,
you for
Ben.
Thank you for using an appropriate word. He usually just calls me the technical guy.
Yeah, I know.
Which I think is how he introduced me to you a few minutes ago.
I did, but he's the producer.
Guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clayton, say hello.
Hello.
There we go. So for those of you who don't know, that this is a podcast featuring local musicians in the southeastern New England area. We bring in musicians. We talk about music. We talk about guitars. We talk about songwriting. We talk about what I call making the sausage, about how to go from the couch to doing professional gigs if you're interested in that type of stuff. And off we go. I can't think of anything else we need to do other than get into the meat. So I've known Clayton quite a while. So Clayton, give us some stuff. What about your early years? I don't even know where you were born, to tell you the truth.
I was born right here in Westerly, Rhode Island in 1971.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
I'm from Connecticut.
From Connecticut. All right. Good. And
when you're born across the river there, you go to the Westerly Hospital.
Yeah, it's like, I know. All the way across the river. You can only go there on weekends. It's so far away.
Yeah, right.
When did you stop playing guitar? So Clayton's a left-handed. If you listen to our previous episodes with Gene Parise, he was a left-handed guy talking about the trials and tribulations of being left-handed. Clayton's the another left-handed guy. In fact, he just mentioned that Gino's got one of his old guitars.
Yeah, he's got a Stratocaster.
Oh, yep, I've seen
I
that.
once had.
Yeah. So when you start playing guitar?
I started late. I actually started on 6 strings, like at 30. So I was singing all my life, played harmonica, whistled, all that, but I always wanted to play guitar, and I didn't think I could. And I had an old Stella with 2 strings on it, the lower strings. And I figured out how to play, the power chords.
Yeah.
And that's how I started.
You know what? I started late also, and I'm the exact same thing. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And all of a sudden, after a while, I go, oh my God, I can. So my advice to other people is, if I can learn to play guitar and do okay, anybody can.
And you just keep at it.
Just keep at it,
and it grows.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as someone who is currently 30, this gives me hope that maybe I could learn how to play guitar. Not him. I'm kidding.
He cut his dang thumb off, and he can still play guitar.
I know. It's very impressive. I'm sure.
Yep. Well, we find a way. Yep.
Ingenuity, baby.
Ingenuity. Yep. So.
So what was the biggest learning curve starting late with the guitar?
Well, trying to sing and play at the same time. That's where I wanted to be able to hold my own. Be a karaoke machine for me. And boy, what a struggle that was for a while, trying to get this hand to keep the rhythm. But after a while, it just falls into place, and it strums all the time. It won't stop now.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you learn how to play on a left-handed guitar, or did you learn how to play backwards?
I learned I turned the strings around like they are now and figured it out. My dad tried to teach me how to play on a right-handed Fender jazz bass when I was a kid, and I always remember that, and he figured I was just musically inept because I couldn't play like this, back the other way.
Yeah.
But I always knew that I had something in this hand.
Yep. And we discussed that in another podcast, too, about, at one point I was considering switching from right-handed to left-handed, and I said, not going to happen. Your brain is wired a certain way, and your right hand, you're right-handed, so your right hand is rhythm, and that's what you got to be.
Well, I had 2 strings in the beginning, and you could go. It's like, yeah, you can play.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Dan Stevens does some incredible stuff with 1 string.
Yeah, the diddly bow.
The diddly bow. He does a 1 string. It's not a guitar, but it's a 1 string instrument. We'll call it.
It's primitive.
It's primitive, it kind of what the blues guys used to play down. So yeah, and he does some crazy stuff with it. Really good, really, really good.
Yep.
So you said that you grew up singing and whistling. Doug has spoken very highly of your whistling abilities.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
It's always been a nervous habit. Got in trouble in church a lot when I was a kid for whistling.
He said, "Wait until you hear him whistle." So
let's do a song. Let's do a song with something whistling in it.
All right.
And it's got to be original, or else ASCAP will come after us.
Oh. Yeah, original. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
An avenue for this original music. I got a sweet little honey woman. Yeah, well, I got a sweet little honey woman. Hey, Doug, I got a sweet honey woman. I best better not catch you looking. I got me a sweet little honey woman. You know that I'm gonna treat her good now. Yeah, dog. You know I'm gonna treat her good now. Oh, yes, sir, gonna treat her good. Let me make that understood. Y'all know that I'm gonna treat her good now. I'll whistle. Yeah, well, she makes me hot coffee in the morning. Yeah, shake it up, Doug. She makes me hot coffee in the morning. I still got some in my truck. Good Lord, hot coffee in the morning and a sweet loving all night till dawning. She makes me hot coffee in the morning. Give me that rhythm section a little bit. Well, now, I got a sweet little honey woman. Oh, I got a sweet little honey woman. Yes, sir, I got a sweet honey woman. Best not catch you to you looking. Got me a sweet little honey woman. Yeah, well, you know that I'm gonna treat her good now. Paparista, baby. You know that I'm gonna treat her good now. Yes, sir, gonna treat her good. Let me make that understood. You know I'm gonna treat her good now. My honey woman. My honey woman. Beep, beep, beep.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was awesome.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you?
You did. You did. That was fantastic.
This room is nice, too. It's got the good acoustics.
Yeah. So we're in this little studio. Mr. Ben is set up.
It is nowhere near set up yet, but
No, they can't see, so they don't know.
we're starting.
Make people jealous. This is a cool studio.
Thanks. It is pretty cool. We when we first moved in, it looks a little bit like with the track lighting on the and the dark hardwoods. We thought it looked a little bit like a little Irish pub.
Yeah.
So we thought about putting like a stage up over here and redirecting the track lighting at it and stuff, just for friends and small get-togethers. But we don't like talking to people that much. So
I know how that feels.
yeah, we were all gung ho about it, and then we were like, who do we want to invite over? Nobody. Don't worry about it. So it's kind of a workout space, and now we're turning it into the little podcast studio. Who are some of your influences? That was an incredible piece of music that you just played.
Well, actually, Dan Stevens inspired me to play that because I didn't know anything about blues. I just get educated by seeing things. I've always been a pop culture boy, raised on the radio and whatever I heard. And now I'm just starting to discover all the really good music. Like, I discovered Leo Kottke in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's guitar playing.
That's guitar playing.
Then I discovered, Chet Atkins, Jerry Reed. I knew about Frank Zappa because of my dad's record collection. And he inspired me to play guitar. Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad, The Doors. That's that kind of music I liked when I was young. Jethro Tull.
So that's the kind of popular music that you were listening to.
Yeah. And then I started hanging out at open mic nights, in the late 90s, and started getting inspired to write my own stuff, and always tried to make it sound different than what everybody else was doing. Usually I play electric guitar because it gives me a different sound, but now this gives me a different sound because
And as I said before, if you're just starting out, open mics are really good places to start. Go to an open mic. All you're gonna need to know is one or two songs, to do it, and it's just a place to start. Perks has got a great one. Every Monday night starts at 9:00. Gene Parise runs it. Run on down. The people are very forgiving. You've got a whole sound system set up there, and as I said, making the sausage. If you want to go from the couch to doing regular gigs, open mics are absolutely the first step.
Yep.
And
right on.
And that's where you start meeting people too. You'll go to the open mic. You'll play a few songs. You'll meet other musicians, And pretty soon, maybe somebody will say, hey, we want to come over and play, or hopefully at some point you get good enough they'll say, hey, I'm doing a gig on Saturday night. I need somebody to help me. And,
and you'll be like, I'm not good enough. And they're like, no, you're
good enough. You're good enough.
You're good.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what happened with me. I was like, really?
Really? I know.
You
I
think
was
I can
exact
play?
same thing. Exact same thing. All of a sudden, yep, I remember to this day, Craig Edwards said, you know what I'm doing? I'm gig Saturday night. He said, can you help me out? And I was like, oh my God, Craig Edwards wants me to, help him out. And then I said, I did it. I made it. Yeah. And I actually got money for it. When you actually get money for it, then you really go.
For doing what you love. Yeah.
It's like, oh, really?
So is that how you started out, filling in and playing in some bands and stuff?
I used to go to open mic right here at the Integration Gallery. I used to hang around with Freer Wilson and Mama Z and...
Oh, Mama Z!
Yeah, and those people, and they were really cool, They got me into it. They were like, don't be afraid to play. Come and play. Yeah. And I ended up playing with everybody, and there was a couple of guys... I'll leave their names aliases, but over in Pawcatuck, I started in a band with them, and I was, going to be a singer or, a lead guitarist. And they're like, you can sing. We want you to sing, but we want you to play guitar too. And I'm like, I can't sing and play guitar. So I think Mellow Yellow from Donovan was the first song I learned. It's easy to hold the beat down and sing it.
Yeah.
And I kept at it and at it and at it, and I kept going to Burke's, to the open mic over there and hanging out with Mark Weidler and playing with them. And then he inspired me to play, kept pushing me. It's like, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Yep. And that's the hardest thing when you say when you're learning guitar, that first month or two is really hard. A lot of people, it just seems like nothing worked.
Yeah, because you're like...
Yeah. It's like, I got to put my finger here.
Birthday to you. Yeah, it's really hard.
And you can't seem to get your fingers there and everything's slow, and then somebody shows you the chords like, I can't do that. And it can be very frustrating. But all of a sudden, like Clayton says, all of a sudden one day you go, hey, I just played that. I just switched from that chord to that chord, and I didn't even think about it.
Didn't even blink.
Yeah, didn't even blink. And eventually, once you get to a certain point, It's amazing. It's like the hand knows what it's doing, and it's going right from the brain to the hand. And like you could hold a conversation with somebody, and you just look down at your hand, and your hand's just going along. It's like your hand almost says, "Don't bother me. I got this." You just go ahead and do what I got. I got the left hand.
And then you're like, I think next week I'm going to learn a new chord.
Yeah. So, and again, there's some chords are harder than others, but. The great thing about guitar, though, is unlike certain instruments, say like the violin or maybe even the piano, once you get to a certain point relatively quickly, month or two, and you can do like 3 chords, you could start doing songs. You very, very quickly. I mean, the percentage of songs that are out there that are only 3 chords, especially like a GCD chord, which are fairly easy. There's thousands of them. There's probably 80, 90% of the songs out there are 3-chord songs.
A lot of them.
Every country song, by the way, is 3 chords. Not exactly, but close. So Clayton also does a lot of nursing homes. So when did you get into that?
I started that here in Westerly, too. I was playing a gig at Water Street Cafe in Stonington, and the owner of the Elms was having dinner with his wife, and he said, if you come play for my residents, I'll pay you. And I said, I'll give it a shot, and that's when it started.
Yeah. I did it for a while, but then I started traveling, so I couldn't do it anymore. But I really liked it. For one thing, it's relatively easy. I mean, you usually just need an acoustic guitar. I never even brought any amplification. I would just bring my acoustic guitar. I would just show up. They'd say, show up at 2:00 and play for an hour. And I used to actually do what I call strolling. I would used to go down the halls and just play and go into people's rooms and just say, hey, you want a song? Most times they would. Sometimes get out of here. You know,
Yeah, I was never a stroller. Dan Stevens does a lot of that. I like to have a crowd in front of me and then entertain, like that way. But strollers, I got to give you guys credit, man. And you can walk into somebody's room and most of them like throw an apple at you,
Yeah, I would say half. I mean, some of them can't get out to the the performance room, So and some of them they're kind of a little bit out of it, but it is so satisfying. All of a sudden you're playing one, and all of a sudden you play some old song like Good Night, and you can actually see them come back. They actually come back to the present.
People with dementia,
yeah, and they actually come back for a minute or two, and then and that makes you feel really good. They remember like a wedding or a date or something like that.
What's your favorite part about playing? Do you still do the nursing homes?
Yeah, almost every day.
Oh, really? Well, what nursing homes do you do around here?
Oh, geez, quite a few of them. I can't name them. I'm not even awake yet, but all around the area, all around the state.
That's true. We ask musicians
growing.
to get up pretty early for this podcast. I apologize.
I'm glad that music comes to me easily because nothing else does. Music and driving, that's all I can do in the morning.
And so what kind of songs do you play for them?
I happen to have an old-fashioned voice.
You do?
Like, they had back in the 40s and whatnot. I can croon, I can imitate different people. I can do Willie Nelson, I can do the Beatles, I can do Conway Twitty, all kinds of old country music, and it sounds kind of, people enjoy it. That's all I can say. I don't try to imitate people. It just comes out sounding like the record for some reason, because that's the way I hear it.
My aunt just went into a nursing home here in Westerly, and every single time I go to visit her, there are a small group of older women sitting in the common area watching an Engelbert Humperdinck
That guy can sing, boy.
VHS every single time. And it's gotten to the point, the first time I was like, oh, God, I can't stand this. Second time I was like, ugh. Third time I was like, you know what? I'm starting to like these songs.
No. Stop. No.
I like Engelbert Humperdinck. I don't know any of his stuff, but
I don't know.
he had a beautiful voice.
I was Doug, I was texting your daughter and David. I was like, these aren't bad. Like the last time I was there, and they were like, shut up.
A lot of people pick
Get
on
out of
music.
there.
A lot of people pick on music because it's pop or whatever, but
Right.
Some of those guys were really real and they were distinctive. And
Oh, yeah.
it's just what they sounded like that was in at the time.
Yeah, and I mean that's I think that VHS is from like 91. So at that point he had been doing it for 30 something years. Yeah, I don't think that there was anything wrong with it, but it's really nice watching and our like chorus groups and stuff in school used to go to the nursing homes, and one of my uncle's church group goes and sings, and everybody says the same thing. You see them come back. You see that light in their eyes when they hear the music, and the ones that aren't, that are still pretty with it, just really enjoy the entertainment, and they're really happy that somebody took out time to come see them and entertain them and stuff. So I think that's awesome, and it's really great that you do it almost every day.
It's rewarding.
Yeah, that's great. Where do you play? Like what other gigs have you been?
Well, there's the Bee and Thistle Inn that I play a solo gig at. I don't really like playing in bars that much because my stuff doesn't really fit. I'm not a rocker. I play old rock and roll, but people are like, they want to hear more current stuff, and I can't mix it in. I don't like the current music. I'm just too old-fashioned. Yeah. Some of it I like.
Yeah. I mean, Clayton and I played at we have our little group. I have this little group which has various configurations, which, again, it's like the making the sausage that if you have a group also, hey, Doug, we need you to play. So, and it's either Clayton, Craig Edwards, or Brad Benska. But when I have Clayton, and I call the band the Men of Occasional Sorrow. But again, I think Clayton does well. He does a lot. That's with his electric guitar, and we do a lot of. He does a lot of Bo Diddley stuff. That's really kind of. You got like a Bo Diddley.
I wrote a song with the Bo Diddley beat because everybody did. The Stones did it. Everybody had to do.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Jive, my baby. Yeah, well, my woman said I ain't got long. She said I don't care for your silly song. Woman, oh woman, that's what I do. You know I like to jive when I get the blues. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. She's so funny when she gets crazy. Everybody knows she's a lady. She don't like the bass drum, and I don't mean maybe. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie, yeah. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman, all night, all day. Yeah, I wanna jive you. Maybe you see my way. Hey, repeat after me. You know what I sing? Hey, there he goes. Hey, all right. Well, my woman said, now that ain't music. You sound like some Cro-Magnon lunatic. Well, I said, honey, that's the idea. That's how I get along in a world of hatred and fear. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby, now. Oh, she's so funny when she gets crazy. Everybody knows she's a lady. Oh, she don't like jive, but don't mean baby. Well, cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. Cook up the boogie, Lord, Lord. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman, all night, all day. Hey, I'm gonna jive you. Maybe you see my way. My woman said I ain't got long. She said I don't care for your silly song. I said I told you, baby, when I married you, I like to jive when I get the blues. Honey, you know what I like doing. I like jive when I get the blues. Honey, you know what I like to do. I like jive when I get the blues. Honey, you know what I like to do. So cook up the boogie and jive, my baby. She's so funny when she gets crazy. Well, everybody knows she's a lady. She don't like jive, but don't mean baby. Well, cook up the boogie and jive, my babe. Cook up the boogie and jive, my babe. Cook up the boogie and jive, my babe. Oh, one more time. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman. I wanna jive you, woman, all night, all day, all night, all day, all night, all day, all night, all day. Wee!
Wow. Another amazing song. Thank you very much
You're welcome.
for sharing that. And Doug on the bass drum. Very nice.
It's a full size marching drum.
It is.
It's a 3 foot in diameter. It's monstrous.
It's crazy.
The real deal.
When Clayton, when you started the first song, Doug went over to a toolbox, and I looked up, and I didn't. It was closed at the time, and I went, "That toolbox doesn't belong in my studio. What is that?" And he opened it and just started pulling out different percussion instruments. Obviously, he didn't pull the marching band drum out of there, but what's in your toolkit?
Oh God, it's everything. It's
It's got frogs in there.
You got frogs in there? I heard we have a tambourine.
I got stories about the frog.
Oh man. I see a spaghetti.
Yep, the spaghetti fork. It's important, you know.
The only thing he doesn't have in there is a cheese grater. He's got almost everything in that box.
So the story about the frog is the only
There's an
present
actual
that my
frog.
wife has ever bought me that I actually liked.
Laughter!
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I never knew that, Doug.
Yeah. She's such a trouble. Whenever she buys me stuff, it's like. Even the other day she bought me a couple shirts. I looked at I looked at the tag. It got polyester. Bring them back. You know, she went to the Big E. You know, came back with the frog, and I've been playing. I've had this frog for like 10 years. It's great.
So obviously you brought a lot of percussion instruments because I know that you were really looking forward to accompanying Clayton on some more songs.
This guy's a swinging percussion guy. We had some fun.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
He bangs on everything. For fireplace, man.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Part of my shtick is if I'm out playing is like if certain songs I'll just get a pair of drumsticks and I'll just go around the room banging glasses, tables, chairs.
got soul, man. It's cool.
Will you come back and join us for another episode with some more music? And I'd love to hear some more of your songs, and we can dive into Doug's toolbox a little bit more. But we are at the half hour mark now. So, Clayton, where can people find you if they want to book you? I'm
on Facebook. Clayton Allen on Facebook.
Okay.
And I try to post my events. I don't have too many gigs, but that's where I'm at.
Awesome. All right, Clayton Allen on Facebook, and we'll put a link to your Facebook in the podcast description.
Okay, everybody, we will see you soon. Anything that we want to put on, Ben, to find where to find the podcast? I guess if you're already listening, I guess they don't need it, right?
That's true. So the podcast, by the time you're listening to this, will be on Spotify and all of anywhere you can find podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all of that stuff, iTunes, obviously, and please like the show on Facebook. Leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to it. It helps the algorithm. It helps more people listen to the show, which would be awesome. And that's it.
That's it. See you soon.
Peace.